Welcome, everybody, to Ignite Humanity Live, and happy Valentine's Day. It is February 14th, and we want to just wish you love and blessings and big hugs and kisses on this beautiful Valentine's Day in February. Well, I'm your host, Lady JB Owen, and we're here to talk about ways to ignite humanity. And of course, it's Wednesday, so that means we are sharing inspiring tips and ideas, suggestions to you that you will feel inspired to step into your own best version of yourself. Because folks, think about it. When you're being your best you and you're radiating the best part of you, that actually signals to other people that they can be their best selves. And in the world that we live in today, we truly need to be stepping into the version of ourselves that is our best. Now, it's not perfect, but it is us truly being a better version of who we are so that we can ignite humanity and uplift hearts and inspire souls and make people feel connected in a way we've never done before. And we're doing that through sharing Ignite moments, those powerful moments that change you and transform you, those moments in your life that have been challenging, but they've set you on a new trajectory to something greater, something that you were born to do, and really help you define your purpose. All right, well, we're coming to you from Dubai today. Not we're coming to you, we're heading over to Dubai. Our guest, beautiful Amy Lin, is a trailblazing entrepreneur, renowned international speaker, and the visionary founder and CEO of the Opulent Academy. Amy has dedicated her life to empowering fellow entrepreneurs to manifest their next level of wealth, purpose, and transformation with ease. In her collaboration book, Ignite Possibilities, she shared about her transformative journey of self-discovery and the realization of her intrinsic self-worth. She aims to inspire readers to create the lives they truly desire, regardless of their circumstances. And she is coming to us all the way from Dubai. Welcome, Amy, to the show. Love having you here.
Hi, JB. Thank you for having me, and happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Well, it's almost the end of the day for you. So thanks for staying up a little bit late to join us this morning and talk about igniting humanity. Let's dive right in about the Opulent Academy. Tell me a little bit more about what that means.
Yes, so the word opulence, the reason why I chose the word opulence, JB, is because it really means that having an abundance of wealth full of richness. And a lot of people think richness is just about money. It's actually three parts. There's money, which is the material things. There's actually the mental, so intellectual wealth. And then lastly, spirituality. So like what you mentioned earlier, the essence of who we are. And it's my belief that we all, each and one of us, deserve to live an opulent life where there's no restrictions and you get to create your own life and create on your own terms. So that's the reason why I love opulent, the word opulent. It's very coincidentally, Dubai is actually considered the most opulent city in the world. So I think there's no better place that I call Dubai second home.
Actually, I totally agree with you. I like the word opulent too, because for me, when I think of opulence, I also think of like ease. I think of grace. I think of peace. I think of harmony. Like I think of a lot of like the real goodness and richness of life versus wealth, as you said, or versus the material. Talk a little bit about how people can bring those three things together, because sometimes people are swinging the pendulum. They have a lot of money, but they don't have their health. They have a lot of material things, but they don't have a lot of friends, or they don't feel cared for. How can people bring those three things into alignment?
Oh, that's such a good question, JB. So I think essence of that is knowing who you are. Because a lot of times the reason why people seek outside validation, such as material things, money, and they feel empty inside because they don't know who they are. So they need the outside validation or success to make them feel good about themselves. But on the other hand, if they know who they are and they love who they are, and especially on Valentine's Day, it's about self-love. And I agree what you said earlier, that everything starts with us. When we become the best version of ourselves, when we step into that, that's how the ripple effects actually happens, then trickle down to the community, to your family, and ultimately to the humanity and the world. So I think it starts with self-love.
Well, we have to talk about self-love on Valentine's Day. So thank you for opening the door on that. It's true. We do often look outward for things to make us happy or make us feel good. Self-love is a bit of a buzzword for some people. What does it mean to really have that self-love? Because lots of people say, well, I love myself, but is it the kind of love that's helping them propel forward to help others? That's maybe is part of the question.
Yes, for sure. So I think the word self-love is so misunderstood because actually when I got into personal development, I thought I love myself. I'm like, oh,
Right.
I go to do manicure and pedicure, right? I go to eat, right? But that's not actually not what self-love is about. That's self-care. That's important. But self-love is actually saying no. So setting out boundaries, that is so important. Saying no to things that don't align with you, your values, and also listening to yourself, right? So instead of being our the critics, right? Because I know we're so good at beating ourselves up, but rather to be our best friend and stop beating ourselves up, but rather to cheer ourselves on. I think that
Mm.
is important when it comes to self-love.
I so agree with you. We often have that voice in our heads that's meaner to ourselves than we would ever be to anyone else. And we're really giving ourselves a hard time. But I also like what you said about recognizing yourself and loving yourself kind of exactly the way you are, with all the weird things that you love to do, and the way you speak, and the way you laugh, and the way you show up. Really appreciating that because we're all so unique. We all have our differences, and yet they're so powerful and special and treasures. When people are doing practicing self-love, is there something that they can, put into their, that maybe you do, that they can put into their daily practice, or they can put into a kind of a ritual that helps them remind themselves to really pour into themselves?
Yes, for sure. So I think one of the biggest thing that people can do as a incorporate into their daily routines is journaling.
Mm,
The power of journaling, because as you're journaling you can reflect upon a lot of ideas that's coming through your mind, and also you can reflect upon what's happened in the past, and then also where you want to go. Because when a lot of times people, when they don't journal, their mind is just all over the place, and when they
true.
actually have the time to sit down and write down, and one thing I would say also, to write out 10 things that they compliment themselves. So this is one of the things that I share, is to look at themselves in the mirror and say 10 things that they love about themselves. So give themselves 10 compliments every day. And that's one of the ways how they can boost up their self-love.
Mm. And you got to learn to like yourself also. I just did a podcast a few days ago and they asked me, what do you consider your greatest success? And I said, well, actually, I've gotten to a place where I really like who I am. I love who I am. I think I feel like my greatest success is I really accept myself. I've really grown into my skin and love who I am, because I think a lot of people, again, put success as this monetary value, this dollar figure, this house, home, car, fancy clothes, whatever that is. Can you imagine if we all felt, humanity in general, we felt that our success was really loving who we are and just appreciating all of our quirks and facets of who we are? I feel like that, and I didn't plan for the answer to that question. It just sort of came up. So I'm really with you about loving who you are and how that really does connect to your success.
Absolutely. Yes.
Can you share a little bit how people can step into that opulent life if they're feeling like, I don't deserve opulence, or opulence is too much for me? Can you talk a little bit about shifting those limiting beliefs?
Oh, that is huge, JP, for sure. So one of the things that you and I talk about is the importance of education. Right? So
Mm-hmm.
when I talk about education, it's not going to like a school or something somewhere like that where people put information down your throat. It's not. Education is actually come from the word educo, meaning to induce, because the we all have the wisdom and knowingness inside of us. We know, but we just need to draw it out. So for I would say is to start to study. The reason why we have this misconception about what circuit, what I guess what the I guess misconception of what society wants from us is the outside external things, but the true essence of who we are is internal. And I think that needs to be learned, and that can be learned from studying from books and really understanding who you are. And we are not just this physical being, we're actually a spiritual being living in this physical body, and with the mind. And that's the true essence of who we are. And I love, if I may quote one of my mentor, Bob Proctor's, his favorite quote is that it's actually our birthright. God wants us to be rich. It's our
Yes.
birthright to be rich, right? And because God wants us to live the fullest life that we can, right? And God wants to express through us. So that's actually the true essence of richness, right? So I think it's understanding of the real essence of that will really help people to overcome the self-worth, because I myself actually went through that. I had to, and that's actually one of my ignite moments, is to how I went through overcoming my self-worth.
Yeah, talk about that, because ignite moments are really those things that spark massive change. They sort of kindle into an ignition point. Share a little bit about the ignite moment that helped you step into this work.
Yes. So it actually, I give credit to a relationship that didn't work out, which is, and after the heartbreak, I found myself really low in my life, and I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know, I felt lost. And that's when I started stepping into personal development. And that's when I started going into investing in myself. And I started working with Bob Proctor. And that's when I realized, wow, I am not who I think I am. And I have so
Right.
much potential within me. And doesn't matter what happened in the past, even though things, I manifested a lot of relationships and didn't work out, things like that. But now from this point on, I get to choose, I get to create my new life, and I can step into the opulent lifestyle. So yes.
So well. And I love Bob also, such a very inspiring. My favorite thing that he taught me is that every single thing that happens to you happens for your highest good. And I
Mm,
remember him saying that, and I was like, okay, da 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 da, until the day like it really, really hit me that everything that happens to us happens for our highest good. And I was sort of just like glossing that over until I realized that everything that happens for our highest good. And the point is, it really wants to rise us up, even challenges, even difficulties, even things that we don't see as perfect. They're truly happening for our highest good. And as soon as I really grokked into that, I was like, wow, like all of this is happening for my highest good. The universe wants good for me. God wants me to have everything. Riches are abundant. Wealth
yeah,
and prosperity is right here for everyone. There's so much for there's more than enough for everyone, and
yes.
everything happens for our highest good. It kind of shed a lot of the stuff that we carry with us in our backpack of like, I can't do, I should do, I shouldn't do, what if, all of those things. And so folks, shed that backpack and really know that it all happens for your highest good, and that you really do have the opportunity to have this truly opulent and abundant life.
Yes.
Let's talk a little about Amy wrote her story in Ignite Possibilities. If you want to get a copy of that, you can go to our website and check out our marketplace. You can read Amy's story. Tell us a little bit about the writing journey. Tell us a little bit about willing to share that difficult, challenging relationship and making yourself vulnerable.
Yes. And that was not easy, JP. It really wasn't. And again, I needed to, share about, this is what Bob shared with me, is that, as a person of influence like yourself, JP, we're always out in the social media, right, in the public eyes. So there's, of course, we have the fear of criticism, fear of what people would think, and being vulnerable, especially what would people think of us. But this is what Bob said. He said that it's not about you. Don't be selfish. It's about what your story can help other people. And that
Mm,
really just got me thinking, like, you know what, if me sharing my story of what happened, and being able to share some light and bring some inspiration to other people, then it's worth it, right? So then that's what allowed me to be open and really be vulnerable and share that in the story. And I never thought I would be sharing that, honestly, my story, because yeah, you gotta read it. I don't want
you
to
got to
share too.
read it, folks. Yeah, you got to read it. But I love the way that you use the word inspiration. Today's theme is all about inspiration. Can you share something that you feel was super inspiring for you and pass on that wisdom to our viewers?
There's so much. I think, again, going back to the difference between inspiration and motivation. I want to talk a
Yes.
little bit about that because a lot of people, again, are searching for motivation. And motivation starts from the outside versus inspiration. The word inspiration actually breaks down to in spirit. It's within you. Again, you don't need to seek outside for it. It's within you. We all have that. And that's why I love the word ignite, JV, because it's within us. We just need to bring it out. And that starts with our desires. What do you love to do? Because the other day I saw a quote that, your passion, your habits is not just random. They're actually God's leading you your way. That's your life's purpose. Right? So looking into your passion and your desire, what do you love to do, and follow your path. And if you really just follow your desires, you never feel like you're working, right? Because you just love what you do. And I know, JB, this is what you love. You love doing this, and that's why you're like, you have so much energy and you can do this, right?
And again, going back to education inspiration, I always tell people, if you're unsure and you don't know, and you don't have self-love, or you don't know what you like about yourself, or you're not sure what your passions or your hobbies are, be a student of your life and just try new things. Go out and do things you've never done before. Try different things. Get interested and curious about who you are and what you really like. Many of us have been conditioned to do certain things. We're forced to live in certain places. We've been told to act a certain way. But really becoming a student of who you are and what is it you love and what makes you excited and what feels passionate, that for me is the best student of all, because you're learning about you. And then, of course, that comes full circle. When you're being you, you're really igniting humanity, because you're showing up with your gifts, you're showing up with your talents, the things that were given to you. And in truth, that's what humanity really wants to see, is you at your best. I believe that so strongly. We all need to be at our best.
Yes, I
Amy,
agree.
share a little bit. One of the principles of igniting humanity is raising the consciousness of what is possible. You, as a possibility author, this is one of our principles. Can you talk a little bit about how people can raise their consciousness to awaken to what's possible?
Oh, yes. I love the word raise the consciousness as collective, because truly
Mm-hmm.
we all need to raise the consciousness as a collective. And one of the ways, again, I think goes back to, we all want to help other people. We want to help the community. We want to help anybody around us, but it always comes down to you. So how do you raise your own consciousness is by study yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, you and I, we love this personal development and development space, because nothing happens until you change you, right? Whether
True.
that's you want to grow your business, you want to grow your income, you want a better relationship, better health, everything that's outside, it all comes down to you. And when you grow you, all aspects of your life will grow. So it still comes down back to you, knowing who you are. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually I remember talking to someone about, if you were a mirror, if you were just a mirror, like walking around through life, and you were mirroring everything in your world, would you be a bit more conscientious of the people that you talk to, or the places that you go to, or the movies that you watch? Like, if everything was a mirror and it was just like all the people around you were just mirroring into you, would you take a moment to think about, should I be going there? Should I be doing that? Should I be? And not the should I, but just reflecting on, is that radiating into my mirror the best version that I could be? Is that infusing into me the things that are going to support me and lift me up? And I agree with you. Self-development is so important. Going back to self-love, self-realization, self-awareness, self-awakening, all of that stuff empowers us so much. And
Yeah.
I love that you're living in Dubai, because I really want to come there and visit. I have an idea and a perception of what it is. And I think that's one thing about humanity that has nowadays is so much better. We don't have to wonder or be curious and perceive people. We get to connect with them. We get to talk to them. We get to share with them around the globe, like you. But tell us a little bit about some of the beautiful things you've learned since you've moved there from the US to Dubai. What things have awakened in you?
Oh, wow. I think definitely it was a big transition, but I want to say that it comes down to gratitude, because
Mm.
I moved from California, and California has really nice weather, like right? 365 days. And when I got here to Dubai, it was so hot that I actually miss the weather, and I appreciate so much the weather in California. And now the weather is nice finally because it's considered winter in Dubai. Every day I wake up so grateful, JB. And I think that's the thing, is that contrasts are not
Yeah.
bad.
Yes.
Contrasts allow you to see what you, when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. And I've never been so grateful about the weather until I got here, because the contrast. So
Right.
I mean, many other things I can talk about Dubai, but I think the weather really has a big impact on me.
And I'm sure also relationships, because when you leave relationships and you say goodbye to certain relationships and you step into a new place where you have to build relationships, did you find that you showed up a little bit differently, the new version of you, and built relationships that reflecting who you were now? Because sometimes we get stuck in our old story. And when we create a new story, we really actually form new relationships based on who we are right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's something that I'm very consciously aware of, and I'm always stepping up my new version of myself. So right now, I call myself Amy Lin 3.0. That's the version of me. So I'm very conscious of the version of I am now, and I always say that in order for us to step into the next best version, we have to let go of the old version. So I actually made a conscious decision to let go of the old version. And when I came to Dubai, I decided, and I'm always creating the new version of me. How does she talk? How does she walk? What kind of decision does she make? What car does she drive? How does she present herself? So that's actually part of the scripting. So now I'm getting into some of the techniques that people can do, what people can do to create a new version, right? Because if you don't know the version of you, the next best version, it's hard to be her, be him. It's hard to step into that version. So I would say, one of the tools is that you can sit down, take time to think about what's the next best version of you look like, talk like, walk like, and then step into that version.
It's so true. I remember one of my kids saying to me, like, people never change. And I'm like, where did you learn that? People change all the time. People change constantly. People, we're adaptable, we're malleable, we evolve. In fact, one of the principles of igniting humanity is to foster evolution. As human beings, we want to evolve, we want to learn, we want to get better, we want to increase our possibilities. And I like that you share that we can script out, because we don't always, this doesn't come to us like that. We do have to make a conscious effort to say, what can I let go of? What do I not need to do anymore? What doesn't serve me anymore? What would I like to move into? And I think you also can share, it maybe doesn't happen overnight. It's not a flick of a switch and all of a sudden it's done. It's a process. Can you talk a little bit about that process? Because we're so impatient with ourselves.
I know. So I want to say, first of all, while you're creating the new version of you, do not, talk badly about your old self. No, again,
Right.
give gratitude of your old self, because your old self brought you here at this moment. So give gratitude towards your old self. But at the same time, it's important to let go and you can still bring the good habits, right, that you have, like all the good beliefs that you have, you can bring them with you, but we're just letting go of the part of you that no longer serve you. Okay? And then that's how you recreate the same. So part of that is definitely letting go, because we're so used to being ourselves, and sometimes we don't want to let go. We want to, sometimes we don't do it consciously, and this is part of the reason why people hold on to circumstances, because they feel like just because this happened to them before, it's going to happen again. But it doesn't have to be, unless you let it. And that's the
Mm,
beautiful part as being human, is that we get to choose a different
mm.
version, a different outcome that we want.
Mm. Well, you are amazing and wonderful, and 6 million viewers potentially are watching our show in 109 countries. Let me ask you this. You have a moment right now to ignite humanity. What would you like to say to all the people who are listening?
I would say to take the time to invest in yourself. Nothing else is more important than you figure out who you are. And when you figure out your power and your infinite potential, then everything else will fall into place. So definitely take the time to study yourself, find out what is it that you love and what ignites in you, and then spread the love from there.
Beautifully, beautifully, beautifully said. So well, so true. And I love my guests because I just let them pour into me those beautiful words and it ignites me. So it's a beautiful synergy. Folks, if you want to know more about what Amy is up to and you happen to be in Dubai or anywhere in the world, reach out to her on her website, theopulentacademy.com. She truly is igniting others, helping so many people step into that beautiful, loving, opulent life that we all deserve so graciously. Of course, you can also see her book or read her story at our marketplace at igniteyou.life. Check out Ignite Possibilities, and we'll put that up on the screen. Ignite Possibilities is the book that Amy was in. And Amy, thank you also. Your contribution to Ignite Possibilities helped us build one of our schools in Indonesia. And so thank you for that. We so appreciate it. Thanks for being on the show, my gorgeous. You know I'm coming to see you, so big blessings to you.
Yes.
You got it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Folks, I hope that that was inspiring because the truth is we all deserve to feel opulent. And if opulent isn't your word, well, maybe you like, extravagant. Maybe you like bliss. Maybe you like joyful. Maybe you like happiness. Maybe you like gleeful. Find a word that ignites you and inspires you and lifts you up and gives you that aspirations to move towards a better circumstance than what you have right now. The truth is we all should be living in the center of what's possible. We all should be living in our bliss and our glee. I love the word bliss. I think it's such a fun word. And so whatever word resonates for you, words all have vibrations. Pick a word and let that be your story. Let that be the way you live your life and step into educating, training, teaching, and awakening into the inspiration that you have for others. You have so much to give. People want to see you in your glory. And we truly want you to share that with them. Well, if you'd like to be on our show, we'd love to have you be here. We love to hear from people all over the globe. Please fill out our type form and let us know a little bit about you so our team can reach out and talk to you about being on the show. If you'd like to know about the schools that we're building, we'd love your support. We're always looking for donations. Head on over to our website and see the schools that we're building in Indonesia and around the globe to ignite literacy and help people and children live in the center of what's possible for them. And in the spirit of igniting humanity, we're doing a largest compilation book ever. That's right. We're looking for authors to share and contribute their Ignite moments in our book, Ignite Humanity. If you'd like to apply to be in that, please also go to our website and look for that. And because we love to have fun, we're doing a Gatherama event in May 2024 in Las Vegas. If you would like to attend that event, or you're a speaker and you'd like to share something, please check out our website and see what we're doing with Gatherama. It's a beautiful, amazing 2-day event where we're bringing people together to talk about your book, your brand, your business, and your breakthroughs. It applies to everyone, and we would love to have you there. See you in person and ignite your life. All right, big blessings. Take care. Happy Valentine's Day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your Ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and all of our futures.